Hi, this is YQ from Tarot Singapore Online, and today we're talking about how to start learning tarot. I think tarot reading is a skill anyone can pick up. As long as you have an imagination and a good enough memory, you're ready to go. If you're starting out on your tarot reading journey, here are some tips that can help you along. Buy a deck that you like. So get a tarot deck that you like, because the most important part of starting to read tarot is actually having the cards. Of course, you can learn tarot by just reading about the meanings online, but it's really best if you have cards in your hands and you can study them. So the more beginner-friendly cards are the Rider-Waite cards, and this is actually a giant Rider-Waite deck. I do not recommend this if you are just starting out, because these are actually really big. But if you can see that it's called a Rider-Waite, or the Waite-Smith tarot decks, these are perfect because these are like the most popular tarot decks around. When you read the definitions on website, usually it is based on these cards. So you can see that the drawing is quite distinct. So if you look at this and if you look at these two, yes, so the Rider-Waite is something you might want to get if you're just starting out. Get a tarot coloring book if you're the type who likes to color. The Tarot Lady does sell coloring books, but it might be expensive. If you are resourceful, you can get the images, like only the outlines around the internet, put it onto pieces of paper on your desktop, on your computer, and print them out. I find that if you start coloring the tarot cards, you can learn like little details that you might miss out if you're just looking at the cards themselves. If you're just starting out learning tarot, I don't recommend you go plow through all 70 plus cards. Instead, start with the major arcana, because there's a storyline going through, and once you've sort of like learned the major arcana, try doing some readings for yourself. And the major arcanas, even though there are only 22 cards, they actually cover a lot of what goes on in life. So it's really helpful as well to just start from the major arcana and don't worry about learning everything at one go. I recommend that you leave reversals for another time. So when you read tarot cards, the cards usually come out like this, or sometimes it comes out like this. Some readers do read reversals, but for me, I've been reading tarot for about 14 years, but I just do not do reversals, because I find that reversals could either mean like the negative side of this card coming out, or it could mean like the opposite side of the card coming out, and it's quite ambiguous, so I don't like reading reversals. So if you're just starting out, just take baby steps and read it upright. If you're just starting out tarot reading, I really recommend that you use online resources, because you can see them very fast instead of just having a book. And I like a lot of sites. For example, is antiflow.com and Psychic Revelation. So these two sites, they have definitions of the cards, and they also give you definitions for different scenarios. For example, it's a generic reading, or it's about your love life, or it's about your career. They have it all split out, and it really does help if you're just learning the baby steps to go and kind of look at all the different meanings and how it applies for a different situation. For example, this is the Eight of Wands, which is like speed. In a love life, it might mean that, you know, go for it really fast. In your career, it might mean that good news is coming soon. So there's many ways of interpreting a card based on what situation you're reading for. And I like that online resources actually tell you those different meanings. And I have another tip which might be not conventional and people might disagree with me, but if you're just starting out learning tarot, I really recommend that you do online auto-generated readings. I have my reason. So when I was on my tarot journey, I did not have my cards for most of the time, and I use online readings a lot. And one site I really like is called facade.com/tarot, and there they actually have this specific, so specifically I would choose the Ator Tarot, which is the deck, and I would choose one card because it's the simplest. And when the card comes out, and I also do not do reversals, so when the card comes out automated, when it's like automatically generated, when it's generated automatically, the meanings come along as well. And sometimes I disagree with the meanings, and I would go and check my resources, antiflow.com or Psychic Revelation, for more information. So I attribute most of my learning indirectly through this, because when the cards come out, the meanings come out, I can learn it along as I go. And because if you're just reading a physical card and you're just like frantically searching in your book, it's not very good for your I would say motivation as well, because you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm just doing everything so slow. And if you have the meaning online at fingertips, it makes it much easier and you would have more confidence as well. If you're an auditory learner, I really recommend learning from YouTube. There are a lot of teachers out there who have posted up their meanings of the cards online, and if you learn best hearing, YouTube videos are the way to go. And I like Scarlett Hare's videos. So she did a series called Morning Tarot, I think. I'm gonna put the link there. So she did a series where in the morning before work, she did an explanation of the different cards, from the Fool to the World and the different minor arcanas. And I find her explanation easy to understand, and she speaks really clearly, and she's like really pleasant to look at. So go on YouTube, find whichever guru you feel most connected with, and start learning from them through YouTube videos. So if you have a short attention span, I really recommend learning in class in person. So find someone who teaches tarot in your neighborhood and see if you can take a class, because if you do a in-person workshop, you can ask questions immediately, you can like clarify things, and of course you can see them do readings live and ask them to walk you through what goes through their mind when they're doing readings. And I really love this part when I'm teaching a workshop, where every step I do, I pause and I tell the students, for example, if I'm shuffling my cards, I would say, okay, while I'm shuffling my cards, I think about the person's questions, and while I'm doing this, I do this inside my own head. Because a lot of times when you're doing tarot readings, it's inside your head, and unless someone actually sits down with you and tells you the step-by-step of what goes through their mind, you might not be able to catch everything. And that's how you get started learning tarot. Remember to subscribe, like the video, and share in the comments if you are already in the process of learning tarot. What do you recommend beginners do? And if you're just starting out learning tarot, tell me which tip you like best, alright? So I'll see you next time. Bye!